Subscribe to Soil Cup.
As a newbie into the system, trying to understand how content writing works, what is the requirement of a client, and suddenly from being a housewife to attempting to be a professional was a very, very hard journey. Started 6 years back in 2014. It's been a very interesting 6 years of my life, something I had never anticipated, something I had never even dreamed of. Hello everyone, this is Ritika Singh, CEO and founder of Content Factory from Chandigarh. Thank you so much Team Soil Cup for giving me an opportunity to be on your platform. What you have created to showcase the journeys of entrepreneurs will add immense value and will help their businesses grow. Thank you so much once again. Content Factory with a K was a gift from my mentor on my birthday in 2014. I had been working with him for almost 2 years now and as a freelancer under the name of Ritika Singh, and in 2014 he told me that Ritika, finally you are now big enough to open your own company and become the CEO and founder. Most entrepreneurs have very fascinating stories to tell when you ask them that why they started their particular ventures. Some of them have stories of passion, this whole thing about creating an impact. In my case, I started because I was financially distressed and was desperately looking for a job. My whole personal life was a complete and royal mess, and I needed money to survive. It was as simple as that. Now I had 2 children and both of them were school going at that point of time, and regular expenses were also a challenge. That's where family came into the picture. My biggest support has been my mom, and I think she's helped me out during the time when I needed someone the most. So I remember when the first time somebody mentioned to me about content writing. I was initially working as a consultant in a PR agency, and that kind of shut shop. And somebody from the team mentioned that, Ritika, there is something called content writing. Why don't you just give it a shot? And that was like the beginning of how my career started as a content writer. Every entrepreneurial journey in the world is full of struggles. I think very rarely would you have an entrepreneur that became a great and successful one without some kind of struggle being there. And every business is unique, and every challenge is different, every stage is different, and I think you just keep learning along the way. My initial struggles were mostly trying to put a team together, and I was a one-man army, and because of financial issues I was also not able to afford the best of the best. And that also had an impact on the kind of clients we could pick up, because when you have an average team, you can pick up only an average client. It is much later when we actually got some cash inflows happening is when I could afford a better team, better qualified, and which could deliver better results. And I think my other biggest challenge in setting up this kind of a business model was that it was very difficult to convince clients and get work when they couldn't see your face, because like I mentioned, it was a work from home business model, and it was a challenge, a big challenge to convince people that here is a company which has just started off, then there is a girl behind it, she's just a voice on the phone, and to convince them to do business with us and rely on us like a and not look like a fly-by-night company was a very, very big challenge for us. I think our other major challenge was to be in a tier 2 city like Chandigarh, and where the startup ecosystem was not even properly developed, and it was difficult to find clients. It was difficult even to find a support system, somebody who would guide, somebody who would tell you how startups are supposed to function. And there were very few accelerators, incubators in the city at that point of time, and I think the ecosystem was still in that phase where it was just growing. Today, after 6 years, we can confidently say that the Chandigarh startup ecosystem is pretty much developed, and this is also one of the reasons actually if I look back now in hindsight, that it kind of worked for us because now because we did not get any business here in Chandigarh, so hence we looked outwards, and that kind of forced me to pick up clients from cities like Gurgaon, Bangalore, Mumbai, and then eventually we even did business in Silicon Valley, and we have a lot of clients which are now the world over. So in hindsight, I probably think it was a blessing in disguise. As a newbie into the system, trying to understand how content writing works, what is the requirement of a client, and suddenly from being a housewife to attempting to be a professional was a very, very hard journey. And most of the times when I used to pitch for my clients, my mentor used to be on the call with me, just to make sure, because a lot of things I didn't understand. There were new terms, there was a completely different language, and I was not familiar with any of that at all. And I remember that most of the times he would be speaking on one side, and I would be kind of just nodding my head over a call, and he would take over wherever a difficult question would come. And that was pretty much how we worked the first couple of years. Surprisingly, most entrepreneurs would probably have some winning of an award, or being recognized, or being valued as a startup, or getting a big platform to speak on. Usually these are the milestones of success every startup would have. I think mine are very different. I think the only milestone, the first milestone I consider something was very, very close to my heart, was when for the first time I was pitching to a client for Content Factory, and I handled the pitch completely by myself. What is it that I did? What is it that the client required? What would be my deliverables, and how I was going to go about it, and how much money I was going to charge. I think I covered all these aspects, and the first time I did it and the client signed up with me, I think was one of the first milestones of success for me as an individual and as an entrepreneur. I think for me, entrepreneurship was not a choice. It was the only option that I had. And when I look back, I think that kind of worked for me as an individual. And I always say that entrepreneurship is about having a sustained agenda. You may start for whatever reason, whether it is impact or passion or money or whatever it may be, but over a period of time you have to have that agenda. It could change, but the agenda needs to be there. So I think when the numbers in terms of money started to roll in reasonably, and I was getting comfortable and more confident about what I was doing, I had a couple of teammates also by that time. I do remember becoming a little lazy, and my focus did drop for a little bit. But then I think I circled back again and picked up myself, and took a sort of leap of faith again, pivoted in my business, increased the size of the team, going not just doing content, but also doing social media, branding, and of course my journey was a little more stressful in terms of that I was had to learn a lot of these things as I moved along. It was, I think, one of the most interesting parts was to always hire somebody who's smarter than you, and then to learn all the tricks of the trade from them. And I think one of the best things about my business model, rather not just about my business, was that it was a very lean venture. All you had to do was sit at home, have a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection, and you're pretty much ready to do whatever you can. And the best part is that you could work out of your pajamas 24/7. Only when you had those Skype calls or calls with clients where you had to pretty up a little bit, and that's what we all are doing. I think in the times of Corona also now it's become a way of life. So I am also the kind of person who completely believes in hard work and giving it your best shot. I think one of the reasons that I was able to be more than an average entrepreneur is because I like to get out of my comfort zone once in a while. yes, when the stresses become high and there are enough irritants, while you're doing your business, which is true for almost everybody, not just for me. So I do tend to become very hassled and mildly irritated, and I'm not able to focus at all at that point of time. And I think being a type A kind of a personality who cannot sit still for even more than 5 minutes, I'm constantly wanting to do something. I mean, my hands and mind and body need to be occupied in whatever, any kind of an activity. I think it takes a bigger toll on me than it would on other people. So when this happens, I usually tend to take a deep breath. I'm extremely fond of walking, and I try and go for 2-3 hours in the evening, where I usually have my phone for company. I talk to people, I do my business calls, I do my personal calls, catch up with friends. Especially during the times of Corona, I think it is even more important to keep yourself connected, and that I personally call my me time. And it also gives me this opportunity to appreciate nature. I'm the kind of person who will stop to see a butterfly, enjoy the beauty of a flower or the formation of clouds. And this also kind of goaded me into photography. And I've always been a creative person, so this kind of came naturally to me. I've heard these constant debates all around me, about work-life balance. Frankly, if you ask me, I don't think there's a concept at all, and it's something I don't even think about. There will always be days when work will take precedence over personal life, and vice versa. So I think as an individual, it's a good idea to enjoy the phase that you're in. There are times when I think I am working almost 4 days, 5 days at a stretch. I have no idea what's going on at home, what is it that the children are doing. And then I think after that phase, there is another phase where I probably have no work. The team is taking care of whatever they have to do. It is routine, it is just on autopilot, and all is good. And then I get to focus, I get to go out, I get to meet my friends, I get to spend time with my family. I cook at times, and that is again very therapeutic for me. And that's how I believe that life should be. And there shouldn't be any stress about trying to balance both of them. They're not balanced, and it's perfectly fine. I think you just got to deal with it, and that's as simple as that. One of my guilty pleasures, and I'm surprised I'm saying this on camera, is that I really enjoy watching baking videos, and especially the ones where they just have those beautiful cakes and there's lots of icing, and they just kind of teach you how to do it. And I can watch those videos for hours and hours. I think that is one of my guilty pleasures. And one of the other things, surprisingly, is watching TikTok videos of aunties gyrating to music. It is something that gives me a complete kick. And I remember having this conversation with my daughter, and she's like, "Mama, why are you watching these TikTok videos? You don't even like TikTok. You don't even have the app on your phone." And I was just telling her that, I just keep thinking what these women are thinking all the time, and I just keep watching one video. I realized that I'm only 6 years old, and my experience is not been very vast, but I think Soil Cup is giving me this opportunity to share my lessons that I've learned so far. I think one of our other challenges has been that since my team has been remote from day one, out of all my girls, I think I would have probably met just one of them who was here coincidentally to meet her in-laws or parents. The rest of them I've never met. We've just interacted. We've connected over phone calls, Skype, WhatsApp calls, video calls, and we're pretty much together like a family. We understand a lot about each other. We know a lot about each other. We sit and gossip about mothers-in-laws and husbands and kids and maids and health, everything that is going on in each other's lives. We are connected with each other, and I think that has been very reassuring for us as a team. We've always been there for each other. If one team member is not able to deliver their set of work, the other one completely takes over. And there have been times when I have been hospitalized and not been able to take charge of my clients. The team has taken over completely, and it's been a very, very smooth process. So this video is also an opportunity for me to thank them. If they're going to be watching this at some point of time, yes, I'm going to make sure that they watch these videos and like them also. But thanks to all of you, each one of you in the team at Content Factory. We wouldn't be where we are without you today.